All right, so this one is going to be one of the final parts of our self-care routine today. So part of that is manicures and pedicures, right? We want our hands and our feet to look good and feel good. So disclaimer, I am a licensed cosmetologist, so I am certified for hair, skin, and nails. Okay, so we did our facial using, whoops, I just dropped half of it out there. We did our facial using some coconut oil and some baking soda, so about a teaspoon of each. We only used about half of that for our facial, so the other half we're gonna use on our hands. You can use this on your feet as well. I have another concoction that I really like to do in like a foot soak, so super easy, cost-effective ingredient. All right, so for the hand facial is basically what this would be called. My hands get really dry and really cracked in the wintertime. I'm gonna flip the camera so you can see this a little bit better. All right, so my hands look very old. Not that I'm super young or anything, but they get really dry and really cracked around the tops of my hands. So I have eczema in the wintertime. It was really bad when I was in the salon and I was constantly, my hands were wet, cutting hair, washing hair, things like that. So this is something that will help to slough off all that dead stuff, and it'll also help to moisturize it. And then we're gonna trim up all of these hangnails and file my nails and put just a coat of clear on to help protect them from the elements right now. So as you can see, they're all a little rough right now. So I've got like some hangnails, some dead skin. So we're gonna treat all of that today. Sorry, my camera doesn't want to focus, but this is something that you can easily do at home. I would definitely recommend that you do this like, once or twice a month, wintertime especially. So we're just gonna take a little bit of this paste, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna slather some on this hand. We're gonna slather some on this hand. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna act like I'm washing my hands. And you wanna really coat everything. You don't have to apply a lot of pressure, just kind of the same as if you were like scrubbing your hands with soap and water. So what this is doing is the baking soda is working as an exfoliant. So just like we did in the facial for our face, it's gonna help us to get off those layers of dead skin. The coconut oil has amino acids that penetrate our natural skin's layer, and they actually have fats that match like our lipid layer or our fat layer in our skin. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna slough this around for probably a minute or two, just really kind of work it in, get it all over the place. Don't forget to get in between like the pads of your fingers here, the webbing, because you can get dead skin buildup on there too. And then we're gonna be right back after we rinse it off. All right, so just washing them off, it's much smoother. There's a lot less rough skin. It still looks a little bit rough, but we've gotten all the dead skin off, and they feel much softer just after the one treatment. So they start to look a little bit younger. They definitely will help to retain some moisture. The other thing I like to do is mix a paste of your favorite moisturizer and a little bit of oil. So this is the lotion I have on hand, Jergens, the original scent, the almond cherry, and some generic baby oil. So all you're gonna do is you're gonna take, a normal size squirt of moisturizer, and then you're gonna take just a little bit of oil. If I could get the lid off here. So a little bit of moisturizer, just a little bit of the oil, and you're just gonna emulsify and mix those two together and apply it like regular moisturizer. So in the wintertime, this is what I use on my skin, simply because I have super dry, chapped skin. So you're really just gonna kind of work that in. It's really great to do for manicures, pedicures, things like that. Definitely will help to make sure that everything feels nice, soft, and smooth. So this is the result. Nice, soft, smooth, no more dead skin. It will also help to heal the chapped skin. Not that the lighting is super great. Sorry guys, I'm in my basement. All right, so that's tip number one for the manicure side of things. You can also use that as a pedicure treat. All right, so for pedicure stuff, you can use the mask that we used on our face, our hands. You can use that on your feet. I'm almost always barefoot, especially when I'm at home. So that's one of the ways that I ground my energy. The other reason is I totally hate shoes, so I only wear them if I leave my house. But my feet tend to be like really rough on the bottom. So one of the things that I like to do to try and slough off all that dead skin is our next little recipe. So any sort of mouthwash that you have on hand, this is just generic Listerine Listerine. Doesn't matter the scent or the smell, any of that stuff. Use whatever one you have on hand or whichever one you like. Takes about a half a cup of that, about 1 cup of distilled white vinegar, and some warm water. So you're gonna fill up a little soak tub. I have one here on hand, I'll show you. I got this one at Dollar Tree. It's like, you know, a little dish tub that you would use in your sink to do dishes. So all you're gonna do is fill it up with a couple of inches of warm water, as warm as you can stand it, but not scalding hot. The half a cup of mouthwash, you can put essential oils in there, 1 cup of distilled white vinegar, and I usually throw a little bit of Epsom salt in there, like usually about a handful of it. And then the trick is you wanna let your feet soak in there for about 20 minutes to a half an hour. So that's the trick. What happens is that combination actually will help to penetrate the dry skin, and it's going to actually exfoliate without having to do a lot of work. That dead skin layer will just kind of slough off in the water. Sounds really gross, but after you're done, your feet feel a lot smoother. You can also take like a pumice stone or the little pedi sticks that you can kind of scrub back and forth. They remind me of sandpaper. That's kind of what their purpose is. And so you can get like your heels, or if you get any sort of calluses around like your toes, like my big toes gets a callus, and just kind of scrub that off, rinse really well, and then you can moisturize the skin just like we did. So the oil and the moisturizer mixture, let that sit. Another one that you can use that I really like to do in wintertime is take plain Vaseline, and you're going to take a good coating and you're going to slather that on or mix it with your oil and moisturizer. Put clean socks on and either wear those all day or sleep in them. The next day when you take that off, your skin is going to feel brand new. It's going to be baby smooth. So those are some two of the things that I like to use for really dry, rough skin in the wintertime. So manicures and pedicures. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to clean up my nails so that we can actually get rid of all the little hangnails. Now I will say, if you've never used professional nippers before, cuticle nippers, be very, very careful because they're very sharp and they can cut you open. So if that makes you uncomfortable, what you're going to use is just regular nail clippers, and be very gentle, especially around like the edges of your fingers, because you don't want to actually cut yourself. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, so these are the tools that I'm going to use. These are cuticle nippers. Sorry about the glare there. I don't have my ring light down here. So cuticle nippers or nail clippers, a cuticle pusher, and this one is also a scraper. So these are some professional tools. You don't have to use these. You can use like an orange wood stick or just a rubber-ended cuticle pusher. This is just one that I happen to have. A nail file of your choice. This is a buffing stone, so I like to use this one to buff and polish my nails. Same thing, this one's got like a file, a smoother, and a buffer. So it's gonna just be natural nails today. And then I'm just gonna put some clear top coat. This is just protectant because I have really weak, brittle nails in the wintertime. So what we're gonna do first is I'm gonna clip all of the little rough spots around my cuticle. All right, so I get a lot of like hangnails around the edge of my nail. Not that my camera will focus. Let's see if I can fix that here. So I have like a lot of little hangnails and things. Come on, camera. All right, let's see if we can see this. So just these little edges right here. I'm not gonna actually cut my cuticle up here. I'm literally just gonna cut off like the hangnails. So I would suggest, unless you know what you're doing, that you leave your actual cuticle alone, and just, these are called like the sidewalls of your nail. Those ones are usually okay. Just make sure you don't cut too deep. You can usually tell it's like the stuff that's hanging off, you know, your typical hangnail. That's what we're working with here. So I'm gonna take my nippers. Again, if you're uncomfortable using something like this, just use a traditional pair of nail clippers. That's going to work just as good. So with the nippers, I'm going to pull my skin back a little bit, and I'm just going to very, very gently go along the edge here. And you can tell if you get too much skin because it'll hurt. It should not hurt when you nip this little skin off. All right, so we have cleaned off the free edge. Let's see if I can get my camera to focus here. Cleaned off all of this stuff to where everything looks smooth around there. So the next step is we're going to actually push the cuticles back very gently, and I will make a part 2 of this one as well. All right, right, so the next one is we're gonna start with filing. Go in one direction. That's why you end up with breakage. So go from the corners in on both